Well, hello there, and welcome. This is the Diplomat coming to you from the USA. Today is January 18th, 2019, and this will be a first of many videos. I plan to take us through all the discovery from the Chris Watts case. There's a lot of pages, as you can see up here. There's 1,960 pages, and that's even missing 100 or so that are not included, which I do not believe we can get. So I want to take us through. I'll be giving a little opinion, but for the most part, I just want everyone to read it together and comment about it, and who knows what this will bring. My real intentions is just to continue to share the information as best as possible so we can get as many eyes and ears on this thing, because it's just still not sitting right with everyone, and so we have every right to do this, and I think it's good. It's good for the family. It's good to seek the truth and ensure justice is being served. So this is the very first page from the Frederick Police Department. Gives the case number, Scott Coonrod, the officer, location, and date of August 13th, 2018. Okay. By the way, this video is, I'm assuming that people know about the case already. If you don't, go watch the videos. There's a lot of great coverage out there by different folks. You can find it very easily just searching YouTube. So if you don't know about the case that much yet, I really ask that you go and get a general understanding before watching this video, so that you can you can know kind of what else is going on in the background. So here are the charges that were put in: murder in the first degree and tampering with deceased human body. Okay, that's multiple of those, and those are Class 1 felonies, and tampering with deceased human body is Class 3 felony, all charged against Chris Watts. Okay, so those are the charges. This is the victim, obviously being Shanann Catherine Watts, and January 10th, 1984 is her date of birth. Take note of her height, 5'5", and weight 148. And we'll get to that in a second. And just lists her address and such. Next is the subject, which is Christopher Lee Watts. May 16th, 1985 is his date of birth. Now take a look at his height, 5'10", weight 225. So there's a good 77 pounds between them, and 5 inches of height. But that 70 plus pounds that's a lot of weight, right? If you think about that. That gave him a distinct advantage for sure. And so that's worth noting. We go down to obviously the other victims, being their two daughters, Celeste Catherine Watts, and she was born on July 17th, 2015. Height of 3'1", 3 foot 1 inch, and weight 37. And then we go down to Bella Marie Watts, born December 17th, 2013. Height of 3 foot 6 inches, weight of 40 pounds. So something I noticed there is just there's a lot less difference in height and weight, or maybe just weight, than I thought. If you've seen pictures, certainly you see the height difference, but I didn't realize that there were only 3 pounds difference. That makes a huge deal. It's just with knowing what he ends up doing with them, it's pretty interesting that they're similar in the weight of their body. So we keep going down. We get witness number 1 being Nicole Atkinson. God bless her. Who first called Chris and the cops. Her son, Nicholas Atkinson. Okay, you got some redacted information, which is always nice to see them cutting some of that stuff out. And then Nathan, who is the neighbor who had the the security camera footage. So, another godsend. And Taylor Welch, who I believe was the babysitter, if I'm not mistaken. I'm just going to look it up real quick. Here, well, I can't find it. So anyway, I think that's the babysitter. We can look at that again later. I was actually surprised to see that there. I didn't realize there was another witness, unless that was the daughter, I guess, Nicole's daughter. That's probably who that was. So this is a arrest of Chris Watts, arrestees, suspects. So that's just additional personal information on him. Okay, so then we get into the narrative, and let's go through this, word by word. On August 13, 2018, at approximately 13:40 hours, this officer was dispatched to 2825 Saratoga Trail and reported check well-being. Nicole Atkinson, her best friend, called about her friend, Shanann Watts. Nicole stated she dropped Shanann off around 1:48 hours this morning. Nicole stated that Shanann was 15 weeks pregnant and was not feeling well. Nicole had dropped her off after her business flight from Arizona. Shanann was not answering phone calls or texts and had missed her doctor's appointment. Nicole and her son, Nicholas Atkinson, went to the Watts residence and observed Shanann's car in the garage. The vehicle still had child seats inside of it. Nicole attempted to enter the front door, but it had a latch, which prevents you from opening it more than 3 inches. Nicole had Shanann's husband, Christopher Watts, and called Shanann's husband, Christopher Watts, and requested he come home and check on Shanann. Nicole stated Shanann was diabetic, but was not known to have seizures or to ever black out. Upon arrival, I checked the front door. Nicole entered the password and it opened. The door had a safety latch which prevented it from opening more than a few inches. I announced police department and heard no noises from Shanann or her children, Celeste Watts and Bella. I did not see anything through the windows that was out of ordinary. I checked all windows in the rear slider door. All were locked, and the sliding glass door had a lock bar on it. Nicole kept saying Christopher was not coming. She had called him several times, and he kept giving her different arrival times. I contacted Christopher by phone and asked for the garage door code. Christopher stated it did not work from the outside. He was about 5 minutes away at the time. So if you put yourself in the shoes of that officer, right, you arrive on the scene, you have this friend who's obviously nervous looking, seems very concerned, says her friend who's always in touch is just gone, in that her car's there. And then all of a sudden, you start running into issue after issue right away. So first it's the safety latch. So you can't get into the house. Your friend can't get into the house. That's odd. Then obviously you don't hear anyone in the house and you call out to them. So there's obviously no one there, or they're incapacitated. You don't see anything, you don't hear anything, but you can't get in. And then, on top of that, Nicole tells you that the husband is not coming, or he keeps giving her different times. And then, on top of all that, you contact the husband and try to get the garage door code, and of course that doesn't work, right? So within, I don't know, 20 minutes, 15 minutes, you have safety latch issue, number 1. Nobody can be found or heard of, number 2. Actually, you have concerned friend, so we'll make it number 3. Then the husband says he's not coming, she's having trouble getting hold of him, and then also he's giving several times, different times of arrival, and then number 6, the garage door doesn't work. I mean, this cop must have known right from the bat that something was not right. And the fact that he was already getting different arrival time stories from the husband, red flags must have went off in this officer's head in a very short amount of time. When Christopher arrived, went inside through the garage to check for Shanann and the two children. Christopher gave consent to check the entire home. No one was found in the residence. Christopher did come up to me holding Shanann's wedding ring and stated he found it on the nightstand. When Nicole asked where Shanann's phone was, Christopher went to the couch upstairs and found it between the cushions. In fact, that's not accurate, I believe. I think it was Nicholas who found it from the video. Her son found it. But he did find the ring, but he didn't find it. It's very clear he went and got it, if you see that video. He did not know what the password was to Shanann's phone. But Nicole knew it. Yep, that's right. Concerned friend Nicole knew the password to the phone. Unconcerned husband Chris didn't know the password to his own wife's phone. All of a sudden. And not only that, if you look at the video, Chris says it used to be 4 digits, it's now 6 digits. So, I imagine that was a huge red flag for this cop as well. He can't get into the phone. Why? And she can. Anyway, Nicole got it on. Christopher gave consent to look at her phone. No calls were made that morning. I contacted Detective Baumhover and requested he come to the residence. Christopher stated Shanann arrived home from a trip around 200 hours. He was asleep at the time. He woke up around 500 hours to get ready for work, and they began talking about them separating. Right, because right when you wake up, you talk about separating. Christopher stated it was a civil conversation, and they were not arguing. The term Chris always uses is emotional, over and over, emotional. We had an emotional conversation. You'll notice with Chris, if you watch a lot of the video, he has these certain words or phrases or sentences, or maybe full paragraphs, recited. You can tell with the things he brought to the truck. With these, it was an emotional conversation. A lot of these things, if you watch enough, you see that he repeats it. He repeats it in the interrogation room and so on. So it's you could tell he's got this narrative in his brain that he's sticking to. They were emotional, though. Christopher stated that they had been talking about separating for a few weeks. Christopher stated that about 527 hours, he backed his truck up to the garage to load up tools and left. Christopher stated he had tools stolen in the past, and now he unloads his truck on his Fridays. I don't know. Now he unloads his truck on his Fridays? Okay, on Fridays, I guess over the weekend, whatever. Christopher stated Shanann was in bed at the time. Christopher stated Shanann told him she was going to a friend's house today with their 2 children. Christopher stated he did not ask Shanann which friend's house she was going to. Christopher stated he went to a job site, past Hudson, Colorado, to check on it. Christopher stated he was there alone for a few hours. Christopher said he was an operator for Anadarko. Shanann's mother called during this time and was adamant that Christopher had done something and that I needed to check the GPS on his truck. Christopher's work truck has GPS on it. So right away, right, it's still very early in this whole situation, and you got the mother of the husband. I'm sorry, the mother-in-law of the husband saying Chris has something to do with this, and that they need to check his GPS on his truck right away. The cop's also now hearing that. So think about that. You got everything else that we talked about above. Now you have Shanann's mom telling the officer that Chris must have something to do with it, and they have to check the GPS. It's just signs that there's been things going on. As an officer going in, I imagine, for us, it's very easy just to look at the situation here. But as an officer, I'm sure you're realizing there's a lot of backstory to this, right? You can't take everything someone says as gospel, but if you get a normal response from the person who's missing's mother saying that he had something to do with it, you're going to take it seriously. Detective Baumhover and I checked the residence thoroughly. Shanann's purse, wallet, phone, credit cards, etc. were at the residence. We observed nothing suspicious inside the residence, vehicles, or garage that gave the appearance of an altercation. So, nothing suspicious in general, but that there was any kind of altercation, right? So no broken glass or, obviously no blood or anything like that, and no signs of fighting. The master bed had the comforter, sheets, and pillows removed. Huge red flag. The fitted sheet was next to the comforter on the floor, and the pillows were on the other side of the bed on the floor. I did not observe the top sheet anywhere. We know where that was. Nicole stated Shanann works from home, and it is extremely unusual for her to leave without her phone. She does direct sales and doesn't go anywhere without it. I checked with neighbors to see if anyone observed someone coming or going. Nate, I'm just going to call him Nate, neighbor to the east, showed me his home video surveillance. At 0148 hours, Nicole's vehicle is observed leaving. The video does not show it arriving. At 5:27 hours, Christopher's truck is observed being backed into the driveway. Nate and Nicole both stated they had never seen him back into the driveway before. It leaves a short time later. The rear of the truck was obscured from the camera by the garage. The video shows no other vehicles coming or going. The garage door of the residence was checked. It did not open from the outside, but did open and close from within. So there's a few items there. The video does show another vehicle coming or going, and I believe it's one of the other neighbors going to work or the gym. Also, it goes into saying it just leaves a short time later, but there's a lot of things that went on with him, and obviously the cop didn't get the greatest of view, and he didn't have the zoomed in method that we have when we're sitting at our computer, and so on. But he got to go over and see the video, and obviously that was a huge red flag that now the neighbor and the friend is saying he's never done that before. So just red. If you look, we're how many pages in? We're on page 6. How many red flags have you guys counted already? He was doomed. He was doomed. I mean, he should have just gave up right there. I mean, in all honesty, it's baffling. It's absolutely baffling thinking that he went through all the lying after this. But he did. So I'm going to stop the first video there. I hope you guys like it. I hope you like going through it this way. If you have any feedback, let me know, especially on how I'm talking through it. If there's anything that's annoying or anything like that, let me know so I can fix it. But I really enjoy going through it this way. We'll see what comes. And if you guys like it, I'll continue to do them. I'll probably need hundreds to go through it all. But hey, if you guys are willing to watch and listen to it, I'm willing to make them. And I just want to keep going through this stuff and sharing more. I've become very, interested in this case. It hits home in a lot of ways, in the sense that I have a child, and I've also gone through things in the past with interesting relationships, and so I think it's what's fascinating about this case. You can identify a lot with things. With Shanann's situation, so I think we can identify a lot with the situation, and it's just a regular, seemingly a regular family. So I think that's what's so fascinating. It's so sad, and but this is what we can do for them as a community. This is what we can do for them without pushing too hard. Even just reading through this to get it more eyes and ears on it. Maybe we see something someone hasn't. I don't know, but I think none of us are going to rest until we really can try our best to seek the truth. And when I say us, a lot of these creators on YouTube, folks like the Armchair Detective, Mommy Rambling blog that have inspired me. So shout out to them. So anyway, have a good one, and hope to talk to you soon.